What I did for Nas probably never been done for him in his life. He's never been that viral at all, ever. Ever. He's never been talked about like this ever in his life.
Pusha T just jumped into the ring and he's not here to play games. After Jim Jones popped off on Club Shay Shay, throwing shade at Nas and clowning Clipse like they were some backup dancers.
Has Nas reached out to you?
You dig? The last time he was in some shit like this, where people were comparing, was
Jay,
when him and Jay was beating on
say
him.
that.
You heard? You dig? Like, and I don't want to talk about other people's career, but let's just get to the
Have you spoken
semantics
to
of it.
Nas since the whole
Nas.
Okay.
Huh? I don't know Nas to have a conversation with him. You don't have a conversation, we can have that too and shit like that. You dig? Like, I don't really care.
Things got real messy real quick. What started as light chatter turned into straight chaos when Jim had the nerve to say Nas's impact was overrated and tried to brush Clipse off like they were nobodies. Like, seriously? The moment those clips hit the net, Pusha T wasted zero time. He didn't name drop, but the shots were loud and clear. His Instagram stories, straight bullets. And at his live show, one bar had the whole crowd frozen. Legends don't beg for relevance, they define it. Ask your favorite, who fed them? Yeah, that line, everyone knew exactly who he meant. And let's be real, Clipse isn't just a rap duo. They're pioneers of that gritty, raw coke rap lane. They brought street poetry to life with no filters. For Jim to throw dirt on their name, straight disrespect. But the part that had people heated was him coming for Nas. Nas. That's where even neutral fans drew the line. Pusha T's always given Nas major props, calling him a solid dude and a pure lyricist who never sold out. So hearing Jim take shots at someone like that, nah, Push wasn't letting it slide. And now the word on the street is a full-blown diss track might already be in the works. Insiders say Push is deep in the studio, cooking up something lethal. If he drops it, it could set off another lyrical war in the rap game. The internet's on fire, and this storm's just starting. Don't miss what drops next. Hit that subscribe on JuicyReel for all the raw updates. Fans are picking sides, shots are flying left and right, and it looks like rap is finally sliding back to real bars. No more gimmicks, just raw lyrical smoke. Some gave Jim Jones his flowers for the hustle, sure, he had a decent run. But now, a lot of people are saying it plain, Jim's just chasing clout. Meanwhile, others are sitting back, eating up the drama like it's a blockbuster. But one thing's for sure, Pusha T ain't staying quiet. With Nas getting disrespected and Clipse's legacy getting stomped on like it never mattered, Push is sliding in with no safety on. When he steps into a rap beef, he doesn't come with light punches. He's known for bodying people on wax. Jim may have started a fire he ain't got the bars to control. And let's not lie, Jim's name is trending, but not in a good way. The spotlight hit him after he decided to go at two of the most respected names in hip-hop, Nas and Pusha T. What first came off as cocky energy spiraled into pure backlash. Fans, other rappers, and even big media outlets started backing away fast. No support, no cosigns, just silence. Jim didn't just call Nas overrated. He doubled down, saying Pusha's influence was way overhyped. And get this, he even said Nas only went viral because of him. That had people confused. Like, what? It felt like he was trying to wipe out decades of rap history in one interview, decades of bars, respect, and cultural impact. But this wasn't just rap banner, nah, this felt personal. The industry's response, loud and unforgiving. Jim Jones didn't just stir the pot, he might have set it on fire. A dude once respected as a street-certified vet is now facing serious heat. People are out here questioning his credibility, wondering if he just clowned himself trying to chase a viral moment. This ain't just a hot take gone wrong. This might be career sabotage. It's starting to look like Jim triggered something deeper. A quiet shift behind the curtains. Industry insiders are whispering, and those whispers are turning into warning signs. Word is, some big doors might already be closing. Bookings getting canceled. Powerful names stepping back without saying a word. It's all happening low-key, but the vibe, straight damage control. And the wildest part, it all started with one bold quote. Jim thought it would level him up. Instead, that same line might be what buries his whole image. You won NAS record. You like, that line had people staring at their phones like, Did he really just say that? Let's be real. Nas has held it down for decades, shaped culture, dropped timeless classics. And Jim tried to play that down like it was nothing. And don't forget, this didn't even happen on some aggressive battle platform. Nah, Jim dropped this grenade on the Joe and Jada podcast, a chill spot known for relaxed talk, not career-damaging controversy. But instead of keeping it cool, Jim leaned in, bold and cocky, like he had a score to settle. He looked straight at the mic and claimed Nas never had the cultural impact folks give him credit for, then tried to flex, saying his Billboard stats were matching or even topping Nas's legendary run. The room didn't shake, but the internet sure did. Man, the arrogance had people doing double takes all over the timeline. It didn't sound bold. It came off like straight-up disrespect toward a man who helped build the very foundation of hip-hop. Let's keep it real. Nas is an icon, period. His debut album, Illmatic, isn't just a rap classic. It's literally being studied in college courses. And even now, he's still dropping fire with the King's Disease trilogy, proving he's not just legendary, he's timeless. But Jim? He tried to flip the script like he rewrote the game on his own. Like his name was the one that shifted the culture. The backlash? Instant. The fallout? Already cooking. And instead of falling back and letting the dust settle, Jim doubled down again. But this time he dragged his own kid into it, trying to turn it into some generational perspective moment. He said, I admired Nas, but remember Nas first. Different generation. But come on, people weren't buying it. To most, it felt like he was using that angle to mask straight insecurity. And then the internet exploded. Social media lit up with side-by-side comparisons, screenshots, old footage, and receipts. Fans started stacking up Nas's legacy, decades of dominance, platinum plaques, packed-out world tours, and award after award. Meanwhile, when Jim's numbers got pulled up, the difference was loud. His catalog just didn't stack the same. But instead of regrouping or switching gears, Jim came back again, this time face-to-face with Shannon Sharpe on Nightcap, doubling down one more time, repeating the same wild take that Nas never had real influence. And then came the craziest part. Jim didn't just call Nas overrated, he straight up said Nas was always second place. But second to who? That's when he name-dropped Jay-Z and DMX like that settled it. And right there, his whole argument started falling apart. These three, they're giants, but each one carved their own lane. Nas brought deep poetic street knowledge, raw stories with real soul. Jay, he chased business empires and turned rap into a stock market. DMX came with that raw pain and spiritual fire, pure emotion on every track. You can't throw them into some ranking chart like NBA stats. That's not how this culture works. It's like trying to compare Kendrick Lamar and Future. They both run the game in their own way, but with completely different DNA. Jim's whole take stopped sounding like opinion and started feeling like some twisted revision of history. And it got worse because he admitted he used to look up to Nas's style back in the day. So, why the flip now? Then he pulled out the wildest move, bringing up Belly, the 1998 cult film, like somehow starring in a hood classic hurts Nas's legacy. That had people straight up confused. Like, what are we even talking about now? It was clear at that point this wasn't about lyrical skill, cultural impact, or influence anymore. It started looking like a reach, a big one, like Jim was trying to elbow his way into the top tier of rap legends. But instead of bringing receipts, he just exposed his own insecurity, trying to downplay Nas to lift himself up. That move backfired hard. The whole argument ended up sounding flimsy. No real weight, just smoke. And just when folks thought Jim couldn't push the drama any further, he did. He pulled up on Bag Fuel and dropped his boldest take yet, saying he's the reason Nas went viral again. Yep, for real. Jim stood there like hip-hop owed him a thank you card for putting Nas back in the spotlight, like the entire rap game should salute him for the buzz. But the internet? Oh, it clapped back, and it clapped hard. One fan didn't sugarcoat it. The only reason people even interviewing you is cause you saying wild stuff about Nas. No one's here for your catalog. Another user lit up the comments with, the delusional disrespect from Jim is way out of pocket. That wasn't just trolling, it was the entire vibe online. Instead of earning respect, Jim just kept digging a deeper hole. And now, the rap world is sitting back with popcorn, watching the whole meltdown play out in real time. This is how a reputation doesn't just slip, it crumbles while everybody's watching. The stats didn't lie. Nas dropped 3 full-length albums in the last 5 years, all heat. He locked in a Grammy, stayed booked with sold-out shows across continents, and kept growing with each drop. No antics, no wild interviews, just pure bars, evolution, and consistency. Meanwhile, Jim, his music barely making noise in the current wave. No hits in rotation, no buzz from the bars, just headlines from controversy. That ain't relevance, that's desperation. Jim's name kept trending, but not cause of music. It was podcast stunts, wild interviews, and out-of-pocket takes that had folks talking. What he thought was a genius move to put his name back in rotation ended up looking more like a public farewell to his rap career. That clout chase, it backfired bad. Now rewind to Paris 2024, the Louis Vuitton Spring-Summer Show is going crazy. Beyonce, Jay-Z, Rihanna, LeBron, every cultural heavyweight packed into one room. Flashbulbs going off, energy electric. Pharrell's making his debut as the new Louis Vuitton men's creative director, a moment already too big to top, but then it happened. The runway soundtrack dropped. Clipse, Pusha T, and No Malice reunited, and their music flooded the speakers. And this wasn't just a flex for the fashion crowd. This was war disguised in luxury. Pusha turned that designer runway into a lyrical ambush. His bars cut straight through the gloss and glam. Sharp, calculated, deadly. The crowd caught it. Jay-Z even gave a quick nod like, yeah, that one hit. The message was loud and crystal clear. This wasn't just some reunion moment or a fashion collab. It was a statement, a shot wrapped in silk. And that bar? Chasing a feature out of your element, then it hit like a sniper round. No names needed. Everyone knew who it was aimed at. That was for Jim Jones, no question. Especially after Jim got cozy with Drake, who once stood in Harlem and called him an honorary Dipset member. That line wasn't casual. It was a warning, and it landed right where it was meant to. That lineup in Paris, Pusha T flipped it on its head. He took all the glitz and turned it into a lyrical ambush, letting the whole world know Jim Jones was in way over his head. And let's not forget, this is the same Pusha T who obliterated Drake with the story of Adidon. That diss was so brutal, the ripple effects still echo today. Push didn't drop that classic on some random blog. It was surgical, strategic, and just like back then, this Paris Fashion Week moment, it wasn't by accident. This was a global stage, flashing cameras, billionaires, fashion icons, and music royalty all in one place. And while Jim was out here tossing spicy sound bites on Breakfast Club, Rap Caviar, and Drink Champs, hoping someone would snap back, Push was silent. He watched, he waited, then boom, he struck. That performance, Chains and Whips, didn't go down in a dingy club or on IG Live. It hit in the middle of one of the biggest luxury fashion events in the world. Push didn't just spit bars, he dropped a lyrical warhead right in front of moguls, models, and legends. It wasn't just a performance, it was a warning. Push isn't playing by the industry's playbook. He rewrote the whole thing. He used luxury as his battlefield and wrapped his revenge in silk and spotlight. The production, of course, handled by Pharrell, longtime Clipse ally, the heartbeat of that Virginia sound, and now the bridge between street poetry and high fashion. And the studio, this wasn't cooked up just anywhere. The track was laid down inside Louis Vuitton's Paris headquarters overlooking the Seine. Pharrell confirmed it himself in a New York Times interview, pointing right to the room where that beat was born. That's not rap beef, that's precision warfare. While Jim chased clout on talk shows, Nas stayed posted in Queens, stacking legacy and letting his impact do the talking, far away from the chaos. Nas just made a power move, was not with a verse, but with a vision. He launched Resorts World Queens, a $5 billion mega project complete with a massive 350,000 square foot casino complex. This ain't about music anymore. This is legacy-level wealth, infrastructure, ownership, equity for an entire borough. And the wildest part? He didn't need to yell about relevance. He just moved in silence and let the results speak loud. Let that sink in. Two legends, two completely different lanes. While Nas and Pusha T out here playing chess, strategic, quiet, and powerful, Jim Jones is still out here trying to prove he belongs. Still trying to get a seat at the grown man table. He's out here bragging about Summer Jam slots like it's still 2008. Again, while Nas and Push elevate with precision, Jim's stuck chasing validation. Nas didn't need to clap back with a diss. He let his blueprints and bank moves do the talking. That post about Resorts World, it hit harder than any lyric. The culture felt it. Under Nas's announcement, the comment section told the whole story. One fan wrote, "Somebody out here chasing clout and Nas is out here buying buildings." Another said, "When you're really respected, you don't tweet, you execute. That's the difference. Nas don't argue, he wins." Meanwhile, Jim finally hit the Summer Jam 2024 stage like it was his redemption arc. He stepped up thinking this was the moment to shut critics down. But once he grabbed that mic, crickets. The crowd wasn't feeling it, the energy was off, the noise he made online didn't convert to real support. Then came the shocker. Funk Flex, one of Jim Jones's biggest longtime supporters, actually cut Jim's set short. Just like that. The energy was dead. The whole moment crumbled right there on stage. You could see it in Jim's face. He was stunned. Weeks of teasing smoke, hyping drama, poking legends. And when it was finally his time, nothing. No catalog to carry the weight. Just controversy with no hits behind it. And even after that public flop, Jim still wouldn't let it die down. He fired off another shot, this time personal. But while Jim kept chasing podcast views and viral clips, Pusha T was moving like a silent assassin. Ever since that Louis Vuitton runway takeover, Push hadn't said much at all, but the streets started buzzing. Insiders started whispering, Push is building something big, something lethal. And if it drops, it could be the knockout blow. Clipse isn't done, not even close. Their upcoming reunion album is already rumored to be loaded, not with filler or fluff, but direct heat, each bar aimed with surgical precision straight at Jim. What we heard in Paris, that was just the intro. Sources say the rest of the project goes deeper, gets raw, and holds nothing back. No mercy, just war. Insiders are calling this Pusha's Coke Bear moment. The shift where he fully embraces the villain role. No more holding back. No more playing industry friendly. He's going full throttle with zero interest in peace, approval, or apologies. Pusha T's not here to settle. He's here to destroy. And he's doing it his way. Subscribe to JuicyReel so you don't miss a single second of this heat.